Hey agents, welcome to part 3 of Tactical Status Effects. If you've been following along, you already know, you don't need to go all yellow to be lethal with status effects, but this is where things change. In this video, I'm going to show you how to become a force multiplier, in ways that benefit not just you, but your entire team. And this goes way beyond merely applying burn, bleed, or shock to empowering very high levels of weapon damage. How's that even possible? Well, let me borrow a simple mental model from the Decoding Higher Damage miniseries. Be sure to check out the playlist. I'll include a link in the description section. At its core, it works like this. You start with a solid base of weapon damage. That's your foundation. From there, everything grows through multiplication. Multipliers are things like crits, damage to targets out of cover, and so on. Get different kinds of multipliers on your build and your damage climbs. But then there's another layer. Amplification. Amplifiers are final stage multipliers. You can have more than one on your build. They can take things next level, especially if amplifying stacks are involved. Here is where things get interesting. When you start creating multipliers and amplifiers for your team, that's when you hit levels of damage most players never reach. That's the force multiplier mindset, and that's what we're aiming for. Your build still stays mainly red. But now you'll use status effects as triggers, not the goal. They're not the star of the show. They're what unlock the damage, because the real objective is clearing the mission. What if you could reach higher amplified weapon damage than glass cannon without the risk? That's exactly what we're going to break down. If you're ready, let's get into it. Let's start with an example of amplifying your own weapon damage. As I walk you through how the game engine makes things work, you'll also sharpen your ability to evaluate talents for any build. There are all kinds of talents in the Division 2. You can find them on body gear and weapons, exotics included. If you read their descriptions carefully, they'll tell you exactly what kind of power or utility they offer. But there's fine print. You have to meet conditions and requirements. Do the extra work and you'll gain the extra buffs, boosts, and bonuses they offer. But let's be honest, those blurbs aren't always easy to interpret. Sometimes it feels like they're written in a language of their own, and that's where most players get tripped up. The idea behind a talent is one thing, but how it plays out in combat is another. Because the real question isn't, do I like this talent? Or can I make a build around this talent? Or even, can I burn everything to a crisp? It's actually this. Will this actually serve the tactical situations I face and help my team clear mission phases? Builds are complex, and so are the combat scenarios the game throws at you. Just like we covered in part 1 of Tactical Status Effects, builds have strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You might like the idea behind a build you saw recently, but every talent comes with trade-offs. There's always work required, conditions and risks to manage. Oh, and consequences if those conditions break. So in this video, we're not just looking at talents themselves. We're going one layer deeper to understand what's really being asked of you and what you're actually getting in return. So let's examine a popular gear set, Hunter's Fury. This is a gear set, which means your character must have a minimum of 2 pieces before you start gaining bonuses. Wearing only one won't give you anything beyond its attributes and their current stats. So let's take a look at what it comes with. Its 2-piece bonus gives you plus 15% shotgun damage and plus 15% SMG damage. 3 pieces give you plus 20% armor on kill and plus 50% health on kill. Not bad, right? But the real magic with gear sets is reaching 4 pieces and unlocking the full set's talent. Here we have Apex Predator. Enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff, amplifying your weapon damage against them by 20%. And killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorients other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Now let's look at that through a practical lens. So this sentence is about engaging the enemy, and this one is about killing the enemy. Clearly, Apex Predator will amplify damage, but it does not happen automatically. And this is where many new players don't realize they have to manage something to make things happen. What does it require? You must engage enemies within 15 meters. Let's make this easier to follow and understand. So long as enemies are within 15 meters of you, they'll receive a debuff. It's not a status effect like burn, bleed, or shock. It's basically a negative condition. Once you see the debuff icon over their heads, they'll take 20% amplified weapon damage from you. They're more vulnerable, and you're more powerful. But if you start engaging enemies beyond 15 meters, Hunter's Fury will not amplify any of your weapon damage. You'll only be hitting with normal damage. That's the catch. If you want to be an apex predator, you have to meet its requirements. Now let's continue. And this is where status effects do come in. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorients other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Let's break that down. At first, while you're working on your first debuffed enemy, there's still the risk that they may fire back at you. But once you kill your first debuffed enemy, the disorient effect kicks in. Other bad guys within 5 meters of the point of death will become disoriented, so they'll hunch over and stop shooting at you for a few seconds. And that's your window. The disorient effect itself doesn't amplify. Killing does. Disorient merely creates a window for you to kill and build up to 5 stacks. Each stack lasts 10 seconds and amplifies weapon damage by 5%. If you kill enough enemies quickly, that becomes up to 25% amplified weapon damage from Apex Predator alone. That's pretty sweet on paper, but it depends on whether you have enough DPS to acquire your kills. And if teammates unintentionally land kill shots before you, it will no doubt be a challenge to build stacks and gain that 25% amplification. Now, I always examine a gear set's backpack and chest talents to see if they give stronger benefits. If not, I'll have to find high-end brand sets or gold gear to replace them with the very specific talents I need. And if I do so, I'll have to make sure I still have a full 4 of this gear set to gain its 4-piece benefit. I'll let you pause the video here to read their descriptions, but basically, the backpack talent expands the radius and the chest talent extends the duration. If you can already handle things pretty well, then talents like Wicked and Obliterate could improve your personal damage output. But if you struggle to kill enemies efficiently and need a more gracious window of opportunity, this could be your solution. Either way, it's a trade-off. Regardless, you'll still have to be within 15 meters to trigger Apex Predator. Hunter's Fury is one example of how gear sets can give you amplified damage, provided you're willing to do the extra work to earn it. If you can't manage its weaknesses, your build can let you down. Teammates who land kill shots instead of you mean you'll have to kill other enemies to build amplifying stacks. You'll also have to manage serious threats. Many enemies, snipers, grenadiers, heavies, even aerial recon, will engage you well beyond 15 meters. If you can't close that distance, Apex Predator simply won't activate. And if you're caught out in the open, or relying on face tanking without cover, then you're the one taking on the risk. So here's the real takeaway. This isn't just about damage, it's about adapting your tactics and your build to the situation in front of you. Because when you do that well, you don't just survive, you become a reliable asset to your team. Let's start with a situation many of you have run into. You're in a group where the enemy could begin to overwhelm you guys. Maybe it's Countdown with players whose builds lack DPS, or a heroic or master-level mission with directives that push the team to its limits, like in these examples I'm showing here. Enemies stay up longer, and troubles start to pile up. Now, in situations like this, you could run a build with strong personal stats, but if the group as a whole can't keep up, those numbers don't solve the problem. This is where a different approach becomes more effective. Instead of focusing only on your own output, you look for ways to boost the entire team. That could be something as simple as Coyote's Mask, giving others more crits. Or it could be something more hard-hitting, but the goal stays the same. If the team gets stronger, the mission gets easier, and the odds of mission success go way up. And when you do this well, the group's combined damage output can exceed what any one player could achieve alone. How does group-wide amplification work? Remember, amplifiers are final stage multipliers, and you can have more than one. Let's walk through it. Your teammates already bring solid base weapon damage, multipliers like crits, DTA, and DTOC, and sometimes their own amplifying talents. That's what they each bring to the picture. Now you layer something around their damage output, another amplifier. And here's the key, it multiplies everything they already have. So all of their crits, multipliers, stacks, and existing amplifiers get pushed even further. That's when builds like Striker's Battle Gear, Tipping Scales, and Concentrate Company start hitting even harder than they normally would. Not because they changed their builds, but because you amplified them. In this section, we're going to explore the Ongoing Directive gear set. But more importantly, we're going to break down how its team-wide amplification actually works. Ongoing Directive has been around for a while. It predates Striker's Battle Gear, and it was one of the earlier gear sets in the game. But even with newer sets like Tipping Scales and Concentrated Company entering the mix these days, Ongoing Directive still fills a very specific role. Take a situation like this. You're running heroic difficulty with multiple world directives on, especially ammo hoarders. Now you can't rely on blue ammo boxes. So the question becomes, how do you sustain your firepower? This is where Ongoing Directive comes in. If you meet its requirements, it can become a source of continuous hollow point ammo for the entire team. And that changes everything. Because you can be running the strongest meta builds in the game, but if you can't fire your weapon, those stats don't mean much. This isn't about replacing high-end DPS builds, it's about enhancing them. When used correctly, Ongoing Directive doesn't compete with your teammates' damage, it elevates it. And that shift matters, because you're not trying to out-damage the strongest builds in the group. You're increasing the likelihood that everyone performs better, and that the team clears missions more reliably. So let's break down exactly how that works. So here's the Ongoing Directive gear set. At 2 pieces, Ongoing Directive gives you plus 15% status effects. That helps improve the duration and severity of any damage over time status effects you apply during combat, such as bleed, burn, and poison. We'll touch on this later. Now, at 3 pieces, you gain plus 30% reload speed. That reduces downtime and gets you back into the fight faster. But the real power comes at 4 pieces. Rules of engagement. Shooting a status-affected enemy applies a mark. Killing a marked enemy grants a full clip of hollow point ammo for your active weapon, and half a clip to the rest of the party. Mark lasts 10 seconds. Hollow point ammo amplifies weapon damage by 20% and applies bleed on hit. Let's simplify this. What's the benefit? Hollow point ammo. What does it do? It applies the bleed status effect on hit. And it also amplifies weapon damage by 20%. Who gets amplified? You do, and the rest of the party. You get a full clip of hollow point, and the rest of the team gain half of what your magazine can hold. As you can see, a careful read of descriptions can help us understand what the devs have in mind. So what's the requirement? What's the gotcha? You must get an enemy affected with a status effect, then shoot to mark that enemy. You only gain that hollow point and amplification when that marked enemy is killed. That's a process. And this is where many players struggle, because this talent is not automatic. Only when the process is followed do you trigger the reward for you and your team. This process is repeatable. It's a cycle. So let's see what that would look like in combat. The first step is to apply status effects to enemies. We can use a utility or skill, such as the Banshee Pulse of the Gunner specialization. In that way, we have a few seconds while they're disoriented. Then, we mark status-affected enemies. If they're temporarily overwhelmed by a status effect, that's a great window of opportunity to get your shots in. Next, you or the team kill the marked status-affected enemies. And by doing so, we gain hollow point ammo for ourselves and the team. And this is a repeatable cycle. You'll use normal ammo to start the process, but once the cycle is running, the hollow point ammo you generate becomes a separate, self-sustaining source, as long as you keep it going. And that's the challenge. So let me show you how to run this effectively. Pro tip 1. Create status effects on demand. You need a reliable way to start the cycle. I personally like the Banshee Pulse from the Gunner specialization. It applies Disorient, which gives you immediate advantage over enemies and sets up your first mark. Once you kill your first mark, you and your team gain hollow point ammo that amplifies weapon damage. From there, use Banshee Pulse at doorways and choke points to disable enemies, control space, and keep the cycle going. You can long press the Banshee Pulse to tighten and lengthen its spread. As a backup, I have a foam grenade to apply the ensnare status effect. Pro tip 2. Keep hollow point active across both weapons. Your goal is uptime. LMGs work especially well with Ongoing Directive. Their large magazines mean your team receives more hollow point ammo. Here's the technique. When a marked enemy is bleeding and close to death, switch weapons and finish the fight. Now both weapons are loaded with hollow point ammo. If one weapon runs dry and your Banshee Pulse or other skill is on cooldown, use your other weapon to apply bleed and mark the enemy. Then switch back and secure the kill. That way, you're constantly boosting your weapons and your team, giving everyone an edge in combat. Pro tip 3. Make sure kills happen quickly. This is critical. If enemies don't go down fast, you won't generate hollow point consistently for your team. Now, you don't have to be the one who gets the kill, but you do need to make sure that marked enemies die while marked. So your role isn't to chase kills, it's to enable them. Remember, enemies must be killed within 10 seconds of being marked. Your damage needs to be strong enough to contribute, so you and your team continually gain hollow point, especially if group members lack DPS, because without kills, the cycle won't happen. Here's how we ensure that. Step 1. Make your stats solid. You need to give amplifiers strong damage to see it grow. The easiest way to do that is to have good crits, but this is where many players get it wrong. Having a big crit damage stat like this here is ineffective if you have a low chance of crits happening. Critical hit chance is the chance each bullet or weapon hit has to hit with crit damage. Don't get caught up with flashy stats that don't play out in combat. Aim for at least 50% critical hit chance. This will bring the crit damage number down, sure, but a 1 in 2 chance is better odds than a 1 in 10. Don't overspec. The cap is 60%, so anything in the 55 to 59% range is excellent. So put the game's damage math to do the work for you. Remember, amplifiers only grow what you bring. Step 2. Use talents that synergize. Look for talents that build on what Ongoing Directive already does. For example, Carnage, the named LMG, has the perfect Sadist talent. It amplifies personal weapon damage to bleeding enemies by 35%, so it's perfect with Ongoing Directive because hollow point causes bleed. Also, the Vindictive weapon talent gives crit chance and crit damage to your group. So imagine this stacking with the crits of the exotic Coyote's mask. Crits may not be amplifiers, but they're what amplifiers can amplify. Step 3. Evaluate your backpack and chest. This is where you unlock more potential. Some talents extend status effects, which can help control enemies a bit longer, but doesn't improve your damage output. Others directly increase your damage output, which helps you secure kills faster. So ask yourself, do I need more control or more reliable takedowns? Because the quicker enemies go down, the sooner your team gains amplification. Ongoing's backpack talent, Trauma Specialist, increases the duration of bleed by 50% and bleed damage by 100%. Not bad. But bleed is damage over time, or DOT. We could, instead, have a back talent like Wicked, which gives us a total weapon damage multiplier. Here, Wicked gives us 18% TWD. Ongoing Directive will amplify that. And here, I saved the best for last. The chest talent is Parabellum Rounds. This increases your hollow point amplification to, get this, 50%. That's higher than Perfect Glass Cannon, which amplifies by 30%, but all damage you take from enemies is amplified by 60%. So you get higher weapon damage amplification without the glass cannon risk. This is the key to quicker kills, putting the game's math to work for you. People run Ongoing Directive in different ways, but not all builds are optimal. Every choice you make with your loadout can change how quickly your team can get back into that amplification cycle. And that's the real objective. Not just doing damage, but keeping the engine running until you win. So remember, status effects aren't always the objective. Sometimes they're the trigger for a much bigger combat advantage. If you move beyond chasing builds and flashy stats and start leveraging gear sets, talents, and the right steps, you'll improve your team's damage and outcomes. And that's the difference between imitation and strategy. Because in the end, you are the solution. Everything else is just a tool. If this has genuinely helped you see the game differently, and this is how you want to approach the game, I'd appreciate you subscribing and sharing this with your friends or clan. Thanks for watching, agents. Stay strong, stay sharp, and stay dangerous.